Good afternoon, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well today. This is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading on Monday, January 13, 2025. And I didn't really post a video yesterday. I was going to, but the criminals kept knocking me out with radio frequencies later in the day when I was going to post. And I ended up not. So I did take my Epsom salt detox bath with baking soda and borax, though, and frankincense. So anyway, this adorable little painting here, this is hand-painted. I pissed off the neighbor dog, so now I'm watch listed. See, anybody can get on a watch list, including a cat. And they do target your pets. So we're going to talk about tactics today. And thank you, subscriber. I never know if I should mention your name. So I'll just say subscriber who sent me an email with a link to this article. So here we go. Please remember to hit the thumbs up. It helps the channel grow, get the message out there. Tactics, part 1. It has been said that when you're first targeted, they hit you hard in multiple directions. Presumably, this is done so you'll collapse after experiencing recurrent emotional violence, which is compounded after you've realized that all normal support structures and avenues of grievance have been removed. You know, like filing an incident report with the police, the sheriff's department, the attorney general, the county prosecutor. There appears to be multiple levels of intensity of this program that people can receive. The two main parts of the program are group stalking and non-lethal weapons, which is NLW. Both are violent attacks, and some are apparently hit hard with both, like me and you. People tend to associate the word harassment with acts of temporary aggravation or pestering. Therefore, it might not be the proper word to describe the never-ending acts of covert violence inflicted upon targeted people, which amounts to torture and the M word, M-U-R-D-E-R. Some of the tactics used in these programs are borderline subliminal. You know, they use hypnosis and, they'll knock you out with radio frequencies, and with the tinnitus, there are words overlapping that. So you might hear the audible V2K, but you might hear the subliminal V2K. Sort of like when you listen to my lives, and you've got that creepy man's voice in the background. That is a subliminal program. I don't know what he's saying. If anybody out there is really good with Audible, I think that's what it's called, Audacity, and wants to check out any of my lives and run some of the creepy voice through it, I'd be grateful. Therefore, it may not be the proper word to describe the never-ending acts of covert violence inflicted upon targeted people, which amounts to torture and unaliving. It is my goal to make the unconscious conscious. Many of these tactics are a type of mind control. Most of these tactics have been used in former COINTELPRO operations by the United States, Russia, and Germany against their civilian population. The hidden evil's genesis is obviously derived from known tactics such as bogus investigations, surveillance, smear campaigns, the use of noise, thefts, break-ins, character assassination, staged accidents, framing, sabotage, and vandalism, mail interference, blacklisting, citizen informant squads for overt surveillance, gang stalking, poisoning and drugging, incarceration into prisons and mental institutions, and electromagnetic weaponry. Sounds like a lot of stuff going on for targeted people, right? Oh, wow. It's like they can't inflict enough harassment upon one innocent person. Meanwhile, we still don't know anything about the Hunter laptop issue, right? Why don't we know about that? And what about the Epstein flight log? Okay, but no, we've got to track senior citizens in the middle of rural Kentucky. Yeah. So, it is a historical fact that the U.S. has officially targeted its citizens' population on multiple occasions. Programs such as MK Ultra and COINTELPRO can't be denied. Actually, even Candace Owens did a podcast on MK Ultra a little while ago. The methods reportedly employed in these harassment campaigns, explained McKinney, bear a striking resemblance to those attributed to the CIA and my favorite Bureau of Instigation during Operation MK Ultra, MH Chaos, and COINTELPRO. And you know, psychopaths and narcissists are addicted to chaos. In Germany, these methods were contained in 2 programs, Zersetzung, decomposition, and directive perceptions. They want to change how you see things because they're psychopaths, they're control freaks. They were basically German versions of COINTELPRO. Zersetzung was developed to destroy a target's person's inner self. Like when they target your clothing and tear out the crotch of your pants, unalive your pets, burn holes in them, all these kinds of things. Yeah, that really targets my inner self. Yeah. During an interview on the Republic Broadcasting Network, Dr. Munzert, Munzert, a German target, drew a parallel between the current program and what occurred in East Germany. He explains, in Germany, this is called Zersetzung, and this means the dissolution or disintegration of the targeted person. According to them, I don't know, guys, you all seem to be here. Have you disintegrated yet? Well, what they're doing is they're trying to destroy your will, your intelligence, your creativity, and your joy, because they're joy thieves. BBC in 2004, for her nonfiction book Stasiland, in it she wrote, the German word Zersetzung is harsh. It actually has no direct English equivalent. She described Zersetzung is a concept. It involves the annihilation of the inner self. It calls for the targeted spreading of rumors about particular persons with the aid of anonymous, a person, making compromising situations for them by creating confusion over the facts and engendering of hysterical and depressive behaviors for the targeted person. I mean, is this normal behavior? Is this craziness? These are sick, pathetic psychopaths. These are the real criminals. So Directive Perceptions, she continued, was another program. It was designed to develop apathy in the targeted subject to achieve a situation in which his or her conflicts, whether it's social, personal, career, health, or political, of a political kind, are irreversible, to give rise to fears in him or her, to develop or create disappointments, to restrict their talents or capabilities, to reduce their capacity to act, and to harness dissensions and contradictions around them, which is why they always sabotage everything. They want to intercept your path, your will, your destiny. You know why? Because they know what your qualities are. They know what you're capable of. And they don't want you to aspire to your destiny. Because these losers, they have your birth chart. They know your date, time, and place of birth because they've been tracking us. I'm not going to say targeting us our whole lives, but I will say tracking us. And they don't want you to achieve your full potential. Like sabotaging your ability to earn your PhD, etc. Stuff like that. Minor stuff like that. These directives were used by the Ministry of State Security against threats to state security. It's really interesting when they start targeting children, and then children are a threat to state security. And senior citizens, I don't know any greater threat to state security than senior citizens. In other words, they were massively used on the population to maintain a dictatorship. These programs were designed to secretly destroy a target's personal and professional life, ruin them financially, and prevent them from reaching their potential, with the intention to produce irreversible, depressive, and panic-stricken behaviors. What the hidden evil appears to be is a combination of various COINTELPRO operations used by oppressive regimes on their civilian population, and it has been refined and deployed globally. As I'll demonstrate, it is likely an indication of the creation of a worldwide dictatorship, hidden in plain view. You know, like the local criminals. You know, it's hidden in plain sight for those who see. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. Many of us have experiences with books where the goal is to find the hidden picture contained in the landscape. Or the artwork where you look intently, you will eventually see a three-dimensional picture superimposed on flat background. At first, most of us had some trouble detecting these hidden pictures, but with practice, we usually see them. Oh, I love those. I used to love those things as a kid. Once the detection mechanism is developed, these hidden objects become clearly visible with little effort. So too with the hidden evil. That was an excellent analogy, by the way. Once you know what to look for, these borderline subliminal attacks are quite detectable. So rather than using a blunt, overt attack against a fully functional person, they usually attack covertly because they're little weenies. They're cowards. And they conceal the harassment by using existing events that occurred naturally. Yeah, it's called plausible deniability. Yeah, so, we'll have a snowstorm, but then they'll use their directed energy weapons, or their DRONES, to take down a healthy pine tree branch and deposit it in the middle of my yard here. Oh, but it just must have happened naturally because it was snowing. No, it didn't happen naturally. There's currently cover for the harassment as well, however. It is probably a statistical rarity that some of these staged events to occur as often as they do. And I've been saying that since 2017. It's not statistically possible. They conceal much of their harassment using what appears to be a simple formula. From what I've learned, the basic formula is as follows, and this is going to be important, okay? It's frequency, duration, intensity. Frequency describes how often an event occurs. It also pertains to the number of acts within a single event. I'll repeat that. Frequency describes how often an event occurs, like every friggin' day. And it also pertains to the number of acts within a single event. Duration. It pertains to the length of a single event. It also pertains to the non-stop nature of the harassment in general. The intensity is the amplification of acts such as sound, sight, crowding, etc. within an event. A hypothetical example of a door slamming event would be as follows. So one neighbor arrives and then two others leave. As they're tending to their vehicles, there is a repeated opening and shutting of doors and trunks, alarms going off, and beeping from alarms being turned on. These disturbances emanate from areas surrounding your house. This may happen simultaneously, or they may be strung together, one right after the other. Synopsis. The event lasted for 5 minutes, longer than the normal duration. In addition to the length of the event being extended, the number of times each act occurred within the event was increased, which is the frequency. Another example. Multiple repeated doors, trunks slamming from cars, even if a single individual is in the vehicle. This event also happens many times throughout the day, which is the frequency. Each individual act of the door trunk shutting is amplified by deliberate slamming to produce a louder than normal noise, which is the intensity. The event was louder, contained more activity, more acts, and lasted longer than normal to produce a covert attack. Even if a single individual is arriving and leaving the attack, the standard practice seems to be multiple slams. A trunk, a back door, a driver's door. This may be synchronized with your activity, such as your arrival or departure, and the event may also be part of a noise campaign consisting of an alteration of other types of noise. You know, like here in rural Kentucky, after the Zoom boy zooms down the county road and screeches the tires and leaves tire marks and throws trash on the driveway and in the outer field, like raw meat and stuff, to attract the wild animals. Then you've got the Scarlet driving by with her poopy diapers, leaving them by the mailbox, and leaving a turkey carcass on the side of my driveway. Well, let's remember the mailbox. Yeah, you know, the skinned, unalived animal stuffed in my mailbox with my mail in there. And then the mail carrier could not even deliver the mail, so he had to leave it on the floor. Oh, and let's not mention, on the same day, the innards of some large animal, which could have been a cow or a deer, on my driveway. Yes, videos of which are online, and you can feel free to share. So yes, these are multiple repeated events. But of course, this is satanic ritual abuse also. They're recording your reaction to it. Okay, it is not normal. None of this is normal. Oh, and by the way, like that animal, it didn't actually jump into the mailbox by itself. Like, it wasn't trying to seek shelter, because it's already unalived and skinned. So, like, it couldn't do that by itself. It had to be literally premeditated. Somebody drove to the mailbox and literally stuffed it in the mailbox, and then carried all those innards, which are quite heavy, I would imagine, from a large animal, and smear them onto the driveway. So this may be synchronized with your activity, such as your arrival and departure. The event may also be part of a noise campaign, consisting of an alteration of other types of noise. This basic formula is used with many of the tactics outlined in this chapter. The frequency and duration formula is used in mobbing. And let me explain to you the difference between mobbing and stalking. Okay? The difference between mobbing and stalking can be by one individual or groups of individuals. They have usually regular people with no authority to change the course of what it is that they're doing. They're doing it because they want to do it. They're doing it because they're bribe course, whatever. When it's called mobbing, it means that a person in a position of authority is aware of it, is complicit, ignores it, or is involved in it. So in my case, for example, mobbing would include the sheriff, his deputies, the county lawyer, the judge executive here, the mayor, you know, all the local people, and then, of course, whatever fusion center operatives, InfraGard losers are camping out around the neighborhood, including on my private property. Right now, 2 guys. So in addition to the overuse of an individual tactic, these tactics are combined and used in a round-the-clock fashion, which amplifies the overall potency. Okay, so we're going to end on that note because there are several chapters here. And I'll probably, you know, try to get through these tactics. This is Tactics Part 1. And it's sociopolitical. It's called The Hidden Evil. I should say it's called Hidden Evil, not to be confused with the book by Mark M. Rich, The Hidden Evil. These are 2 completely separate written documents. The one that I'm reading right now is Bibliotech Pleiades. Bibliotechpleiades.net. Sociopolitical hidden evil. Okay, so again, it's tactics. It said that when you're a targeted person, they hit you very hard in multiple directions. So please remember to hit the thumbs up. It helps the channel grow, get the message out there. And I will talk to you guys soon.